On a cold February afternoon in 2017, two teenage girls walked onto a hiking trail in Delphi, Indiana. Only one would ever record what happened next. A short audio clip, a few seconds of movement, and a voice. A man's voice, grainy, controlled, close enough to feel unavoidable. Down the hill, those three words would become one of the most analyzed pieces of evidence in modern American true crime history. For years, investigators searched for the man behind that voice, and for years, they came up empty. Until 2022, when a quiet local man was arrested, Richard Allen, but the question still echoes through Delphi. Was the voice on the bridge finally identified? On February 13, 2017, Abigail Abby Williams, age 13, and Liberty Libby German, age 14, were dropped off at the Monon High Bridge Trail near Delphi, Indiana. It was a routine day off school. They were expected home later that afternoon, but shortly after arriving, Libby began documenting their walk on her phone. Images were taken, video was recorded, and at some point, a man was seen on the same trail. Witnesses later described a male figure walking toward the girls on the bridge. The last confirmed digital trace of the girls came from Libby's phone, then silence. When they did not return home, concern escalated quickly. By nightfall, a search began. The search for Abby and Libby grew overnight into a large-scale operation involving law enforcement, volunteers, and emergency responders. Less than 24 hours later, the worst fears were confirmed. The bodies of Abigail Williams and Liberty German were discovered in a wooded area near the trail. Authorities immediately classified the case as a double homicide. The small community of Delphi was shattered. A normally quiet town was now at the center of a national investigation. One of the most critical breakthroughs came from Libby German's phone. Before the murders, she had recorded video and audio of the suspect on the Monon High Bridge. That recording captured a male voice issuing a command, "Down the hill." The video, though brief and partially obscured, provided investigators with something rare, a direct glimpse of the suspect at the scene. This unknown figure became known publicly as Bridge Guy. Law enforcement released images of the individual, urging the public to identify him. Despite thousands of tips, no confirmed identification emerged for years. The case went cold in public view, but not in the background of investigators' work. Over the following years, the Delphi case generated massive public attention. Online communities dissected every frame of evidence. Investigative leads came and went. Some individuals were questioned, others were ruled out. Public speculation online included numerous theories about suspects and motives. None were confirmed as fact by law enforcement during this period. The official investigation remained tightly controlled. Despite public pressure, no arrests were made for over 5 years, until a quiet shift occurred inside the investigation. In October 2022, investigators announced a major development. Richard Allen, a local Delphi resident, was arrested and charged with the murders. Allen had worked at a nearby pharmacy and lived within the same community as the victims. Authorities confirmed that he had previously been interviewed early in the investigation. The case was now officially reopened with new direction. Investigators later indicated that additional evidence played a role in narrowing focus toward Allen. However, full investigative details were not immediately released publicly. The arrest sent shockwaves through Delphi. A familiar face, a quiet life, now at the center of one of Indiana's most notorious murder cases. Richard Allen's trial began in 2024. The prosecution presented evidence linking him to the crime scene. One of the central pieces of evidence remained the recorded audio from Libby German's phone. The state argued it was consistent with Allen's alleged presence on the trail at the time of the murders. The defense challenged the prosecution's case, questioning the interpretation of evidence and the timeline of events. Important legal update. In 2024, Richard Allen was found guilty of the murders of Abigail Williams and Liberty German. The verdict marked a major turning point in a case that had remained unresolved for over 7 years. Sentencing proceedings were scheduled following the verdict as the legal process continued beyond the trial phase. The case remains one of the most closely followed criminal proceedings in recent U.S. history. The Delphi murders left a permanent mark on a small Indiana community. 2 young lives lost, a family changed forever, and a justice system tested under the weight of national attention. Even with a conviction, many questions remain part of public reflection about evidence, process, and the long path to resolution. But at the center of it all are Abigail Williams and Liberty German. Their names are no longer just part of a case file. They are remembered, and their story continues to shape conversations about safety, justice, and investigative persistence. If you're drawn to the truth behind the headlines, you're in the right place. This is CSV Crime Story Vault. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss a new case. If this story moved you, disturbed you, or made you think, hit like and leave a comment below. And for exclusive updates, behind-the-scenes content, and more real crime stories, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, our Crime Story Vault 25. Until next time, stay curious, stay aware, and keep the vault open.